bí a bá ń jọ̀dún, bí a bá ń fi tan ewúrẹ́ yẹ ká o. Ká má gbàgbé pé àti bọ́ lájẹ́ láyé o. Bí a bá ń jìyà, bí a bá ń mumi, bí a bá ń mumi ojú wa mú sàn.
Ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ o ara mu.
Ká má gbàgbé pé àti bọ́ lájẹ́ láyé o.
Ká lóore máa sọ̀rọ̀ fún ibi tí máa ń gbọ́.
When I remember Zikalo, I remember Iroko. When I remember Iroko.
Ó tẹ̀gẹ́ ó dàgbà ó ìyàwó bá wọn. Ó lè lọ, ó lè lọ.
Nígbòkígbò tó lè wá o. Nínú rírí jẹ ni nínú àìrí jẹ máa rántí nígbà gbogbo. Pé kí gbogbo afẹ́ pa mi mẹ́tì jẹun ò sí ń bẹ̀ o. Ikú ń pẹni tó rí jẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ń pẹni tí ò rí jẹ o.
Comfort that is necessary to bear the loss. It is an irreparable loss. We feel it as well, even though we are not your direct family, but we are a family in a way. All of us are finished at the same time, and we are still hobnobbing together. So it's a great miss. I speak here on behalf of all of us. Said a lot of our friends. I came from Lagos. Those abroad, in Abuja, in different parts of the country, wish to be here. But I said, distance from Lagos to Ibadan is not too much. I can serve as your voice. We really miss him greatly, but the Lord will console all of us. Thank you, everybody.
I was not picked to represent our residential area, but I know him. He was very amiable friend, very close, down to earth. So we speak exactly what he wants to say. We won't make word. That's Ajewole. Incidentally, about 2 days ago, I just had permission to put on this dress to church. I didn't know I'll be here today. He was the chairman of my daughter's wedding, and this is the shirt.
Death cannot kill what never dies. Iroko lives on in our hearts. We remember him by his virtues, so he lives forever. Let me call on a colleague from the Department of Social and Environmental Forestry to come and give tributes on behalf of the department. One of the colleagues of Iroko from the Department of Social and Environmental Forestry.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oyinlola. I met Professor Ajewole in the University of Ado-Ekiti. He supervised my first degree. I followed him to University of Ibadan. He supervised my second degree and my PhD. On the day of my He said, Oni, he said, a few days before he was murdered, he called me. He said, Oni, how many papers do you have now? I told him. He said, what is our target?
Good evening, distinguished. I am Opeyemi Issac by name. A recent graduate of the Department of Social and Environmental Forestry. I'll be reading an ode to Professor Isaac Opeyemi Ajewole. Iroko was a father, a teacher, a friend, and a mentor. Your kindness and goodness is exactly like that of militia. You have proven worthy of your appellation, Iroko, countless times. King, we are saddened by your passage.
These tributes are teaching us that the best way to see death is not as life interrupted, but as life completed. We all have our different bus stops. When we get there, we will get down. I'm calling on one student from Ziko.
Good evening, everyone. I am Morishilade Farouk Solade Adewale, the current Ziko chairman. Iroko was a great man, a great Zikite, our father. And briefly, I'll be sharing my experience with him, the first and the last time I was with him. The very first time I met Iroko was at his office with some of my ESCOs. We actually went there to meet him for support as regards a program we were organizing in the first semester, the Tradition Week. And we actually didn't reach out to him before going to his office. And when we introduced ourselves, we said we were from Ziko. He actually beamed with smiles and he received us openly, warmly. Greatest Zikite, I would like you to join me as we sing this song. Do you know there is another Baluba in heaven? I know there is another Baluba in heaven. Do you know there is another Iroko in heaven? I know.
Good evening, friends and comrades. It's sad for me personally to be here giving tribute about the brother, a confidant for that matter. Professor Iroko Ajewole Opeyemi has many things to do, but as a member of the union, he is part of those we call the back end. You will not see him in the list of ESCOs. You will not see him in the list of those that will say they have one assignment or the other. But
good evening, everyone. I'm Ajewole Opeyemi. I'm the current Warden of Ziko. It's so disheartening to hear that Iroko has gone just like that. In fact, Iroko brought me into hall management some 9 years ago, but I've been managing the hall for about 9 years now. And there has never been a day or a week that passed by that I don't go to him for counsel. That I'm still missing. In fact, I'm yet to comprehend whether Iroko is gone. But for me, Iroko is alive. Because it's alive in us. It's alive in every one of us. He must have dropped one thing or the other into our lives. My relationship with Iroko was not just about the hall, even at home.
But in this case, my natal day is one of grief and mourning. The loss of a dear friend and brother. The demise of a club man with an unimpeachable personality. If there's any profession I don't want to be part of, it is marching for the death of Iroko. On behalf of the executives and members of the Senior Staff Club, University of Ibadan, I commit the weight with the nuclear and extended families of Professor Opeyemi Ajewole, fondly called Iroko, a man with a stiller state of mind. Not even your assailant bullet could undermine or erase your life of impact. Though Iroko may have fallen cheaply to the hangman's noose, we deny them the pleasure to revel in the peak of their spoil because they only aided the transition of our friend and brother to immortality. The torrents of tribute.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dr. Afolabi Abiodun, the National President Forestry Association of Nigeria. It was a rude and shocking news when I had it on that fateful Monday. That Monday, I called Iroko in the morning and he told me, Ebo, about Embo Wasibadon. I said, I'll be coming next week. Not knowing that that next week, I'll be coming to see his dead body. I called Omole. I said, Omole, what's happening? Omole could not talk to me. I was at Ibadan a Friday before that day. Iroko was to see me, but he dodged me. And it was after his death that I knew it was for a purpose. Anytime I entered UI and I come to that department, Iroko, he, and normally plus back.
Iroko happens to be someone that I'm very close to. Anytime we see each other, we speak our dialect. The last time we spoke, which was after a meeting, I think a week before he died. And all we were discussing, he saw me, he said, speaking my dialect. I said, leave me go. I'm looking for money. So I would tell my friend to give you money now because my husband is also his friend. You know, he's a friend of almost everybody. I said, it's not the kind of money your friend has. When you don't know, I want to bury my father. Yeah, ask him Baba now. And then we started planning. I didn't know he will not be there when I'm burying my father now. Because I'm Sunday Oladipola Jesu, representing my HOD, Professor Abosede Owomonomi. We can only say I thank God for Egbon. I'm one of his boys. I knew him far back, 1985, when I was running my advanced studies in the Polytechnic of Ibadan. Then we were looking for accommodation. We cannot help ourselves. It took us up. About 3 or 4 of us hanging around him, staying, sleeping in his room, on his bed sometimes.
Good evening, everybody. Well, this is one of the most difficult things for me to do. Myself and Ajewole will share the same birthday, March 6th. Anytime we talk, he will say, Egbeniwa. I will say, no, the years are different. He said, okay, continue with your literature review. We are born the same day. We relate as friends, as brothers. If you disagree with him, he will be the first to come and punch you. The day Opey left us on the table, I had an appointment with one of our mutual friends, BC Ogunkale. Unfortunately, I forgot. And when BC came, Opey was on ground. I don't know how to start. Well, let me start like this. Ajewole. Brasaka, it's a good morning. How are you? I've been looking for you. You offend me. Kí ni mo ṣe? You want to do something on this campus, you didn't tell your HOD. I said, Ode nìyẹn, captain tí gbọ́ ni. I've not told captain. Until I discuss this thing with captain, I cannot put it to any other person. That includes you. I said, okay. That was a conversation between Rasiaka and I on the 5th of June. He came later with Mr. Bisi Ogunkale to my office. That one came to congratulate me and we obtained pleasantry. I want Lord John. You
me very well. Yeah, because I'm really very sentimental. With every heart and total submission to the will of God, I stand here today my health. As the Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture, my abode, as I'm calling, the sorrow that no doubt was a rude shock and caused a loss with the Faculty of Agriculture and the university as a whole. Indeed, we have lost a mother. Tell him, I bet him at a bow. And we tell me, hey, Kusumomishi, would you retire? And I will tell him, go and tell Auntie Mabel that you have not fulfilled your constitutional rights. And he will tell me, hey, come on, Lebe. He's a man that I will miss. We play very well together. He has never been found wanting when you give him duty to do. Ask him to do something for you, he will do it. Even when it is not too convenient for him, he will tell you, okay, please give me this time to do it. Always fond of smiling. He's a man of integrity. At times he could change his mind about an issue. But whatever happens, he will come and he will still tell you, I don't, and that is the end. To the family, Auntie Mabel.
I had come here just to pay my last respect to our dear departed brother. I was away from Ibadan for about 3 months, and I arrived in Lagos, I think, on Tuesday, 30th of May. So he called me to say, I told him I was not in Ibadan, and that later that week I was going to travel to Washington State. That the following week, as soon as I came back, we could always book an appointment. So I was now the following Tuesday. So that meeting never held because of the unfortunate incident. It was Dr. Ajewole, the head of the Department of Wood Products, who called me early Tuesday morning to say this was what had happened. I was surprised. And I put a call to the Vice Chancellor. He said that he told him that Professor Ajewole had been kidnapped. I said the latest news is that what happened to him was not actually that he was kidnapped, that he was killed. So which was most unfortunate. Because during my stint as Vice Chancellor, I still have it on my laptop. His support for the university because he was I think warden of Nandiazi.
To my dearest uncle, what have indeed failed me since the past few weeks. But it is the night of your tribute, and I cannot but let the world know how good of a man you have been. Regardless of any of your shortcomings that there might have been, Baba, it takes the grace of courtship to be able to get the right pronunciation of this. I believe those of us in the fold understand that. You were not just an uncle to me. You were my father, a brother, and a friend. You helped me to know that a daughter
or a girl could have but more than a father. You were a father in all sense of the word. You were my brother. Every now and again, when my biological father says to me, despite having 3 biological older siblings, I never missed it was you he was referring to. Iroko, you have fought the good fight. You have done well and you've taken the bow. The world, this generation, and even the generation to come will indeed miss you. And all I can pray for is that this evil perpetrator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mabrika. I'm Akin Adesanya. 89 set for the defunct Faculty of Agriculture and Forestry before splitting into 2 faculties. We still relate as one, and we now have suffered a missing link because Opeyemi Issac Ajewole was a bridge builder. Amongst us, everywhere he finds himself. In our early days, even though those of us who are a bit, can't say whether midway or older or younger, Ope was able to blend with all. And like we've heard from all that have spoken, he has a consolation for any situation. He has a way of, no matter the heat, he will step it down. Now he's gone. And I believe, Tomiwa, Ire, there is a big shoe ahead of you. But surely you will step in it and you will be able to finish well and finish strong. The entire class set, we are willing to stand with you and by you. And our sister, we started together.
The Vice Chancellor, Professor K.O. Adebowale in absentia, all the principal officers of the University of Ibadan, former Vice Chancellor, Professor Ebeli Dowolayinka, Pro-Chancellor, Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, the Dean, Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources, Deans, Directors and Provosts, past Deans, Directors and Provosts, all heads of departments of the Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources, all heads of departments of the University of Ibadan, Chairman of ASU, all members of staff of the Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources, members of staff of the University of Ibadan, students of the Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources, students of the University of Ibadan, friends and family, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Dean, the Sub-Deans, heads of departments, and entire members of staff and students of the Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources, I want to say a very big thank you to everyone in our
ilé tí máa gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ alágbàgbé pé àti gbọ́ bàjẹ́ láyé o.
Bí a bá ń jìyà, bí a bá ń mú mi, bí a bá ń mú mi ojú lámú sí i. Ká má gbàgbé pé àti gbọ́ bàjẹ́ láyé o.
ìtànà tó bọgbẹ láṣọ tó tutù yòyò bẹ́ẹ̀ nígbà dòjé bá sì kàn aṣubú wá sì rọni. àpẹẹrẹ yìí fúnra wa ní bọ́lọ́run ti wí. kọ́mọdé àtàgbà máa gbọ́ o. tó nígbàgbọ́ gbogbo àgbáyé ẹ máa gbọ́ o. kí gbogbo ẹni tó ń jọyìn kí gbogbo ẹni tó ń jàdó máa gbọ́ o. ká máa mọ̀ wípé yẹpẹrẹ ni wá bí ewéko ó jàre.
bí a bá ń jó bí a bá ń jàdó bí a bá ń fi ewúrẹ́ jẹ ká o. ká má gbàgbé pé àti kó máa jẹ láyé o. bí a bá ń jìyà bí a bá ń mú mi bí a bá ń mú mi ojú wa kò sí o.
ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì lọ.
ká má gbàgbé pé àti kó